see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. Get up, catch it, grab it, let 'em see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em.
I got some stuff coming up that you don't need to miss, and it's a shame that my name you act like don't exist. When you see me coming up, making fuzz, catch my dust, watch me win, pay attention, I'm the one you never mention.
While they hating, speculating about that paper, I feature. Burn them eyes, make that fire move on higher. I feature. Bring fame to the name, make them change it. I feature. While they hating, speculate, anticipate that. Get up, catch it, grab it, let them see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. Get up, catch it, grab it, let them see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry.
Never ever let me in laughing with me like we friends. See, I ain't down with that pay for play throwing Benjamin. Because I work the system, shade the system, play the system, beat the system. Look at all the minds on me, cause I'm making history.
While they hating, speculating about that paper, I feature. Burn them eyes, make that fire move on higher. I feature. Bring fame to the name, make them change it. I feature. While they hating, speculate, anticipate that. Get up, catch it, grab it, let them see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. Get up, catch it, grab it, let them see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. Don't you ever stop doing your thing, don't stop, don't quit, gotta let me see you go left. Keep on striving, keep on dreaming your dream, aim high, worldwide, don't ever lose your focus.
Don't
Lose focus. Focus.
Get up, catch it, grab it, let them see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. I feature. While they hating, speculating about that paper, I feature. Burn them eyes, make that fire move on higher. I feature. Bring fame to the name, make them change it. I feature. While they hating, speculate, anticipate it. I feature. While they hating, speculating about that paper, I feature. Burn them eyes, make that fire move on higher. I feature. Bring fame to the name, make them change it. I feature. While they hating, speculate, anticipate it. Everybody dance around, that you can't stop hard, put your feet on the floor. Ain't nobody fly like you, lift it up, turn around and let it all go. I don't wanna hear it cause you're running interference, step back on me, don't interrupt. Walk it on my front because I'm doing it on purpose and I focus, never ever giving up.
Yeah. Okay.
Big.
This has been a B-Slade production. Yeah, I feature.
Everything discussed on this show, it originated as public information. That means you hit the news somewhere. And as a result, we talking about whatever you got going on in the news. And that's when you come out there with one thing, is one thing got the next happen. We just going to keep on commentary. Mind your commentary. The thing that's happening down in the chat. We all giving our commentary about what has been said or done. Now, if you don't want to be this darn discussed, then this is what you need to do. Not nothing. Don't do it. And then it won't end up on my show. Just simple as that. Keep your hosts happy. Do what you do in privacies. And you won't never have to worry about Larry Reid Live. But clearly that's not the case, because then I won't be live tonight. So somebody done did something. So let's go. Here we go.
I wanna be.
All right, welcome to Larry Reid Live, and it is a Monday night. So this is what it means whenever we come on Monday. This is our main show. Now, you saw me last week 3 times. I don't want y'all to get in the habit of seeing me 3 times in 1 week, because that's just not going to happen. It just can't. I can't keep coming on like that. Mouth be dry, throat sore, and this drain me like doing a revival. We had a 3-night revival last night. We had 6,000 people on the last 2 services, and the first service last week. The service of last week, last Monday, was about 3,600 people watching live across all platforms. The next 2 services we had over 6,000 people watching. I guess y'all really interested with what's going on, because this is everybody. And let me tell y'all this. I am hearing from for real celebrities. I'm not talking about church celebrities. I am hearing from for real celebrities that enjoy the conversation we have here. I told y'all this is where the sacred and the secular come together to talk about what's going on in our world. Black folk, brown folk, white folk, all different types of folk. Come right here. We have the conversation from all around the world. I hear from everybody. So I want to take a moment to say thank you so very much for watching LRL. Now, if you love this platform, what I need for you to do right now, I need for you to hit the like button. I'm not talking about those emotions that y'all be hitting. No. If you're on YouTube Rations, I need for you to hit the like button right now. That's a thumbs up, not the thumbs down. And if you are on Facebook, I need for you to go to the post. You might have to go out of the app, come back, find the stream, hit like, and then jump back on in here. That's what I need for you to do right now. It helps keeps us strong and in the high algorithm. It also protects us against people who hate this kind of platform and try to report and flag and all that kind of going on. Same thing over there on the Periscope. Make sure you share so it can retweet on your Twitterations, and everybody can have this conversation today. Top of the show, I'm going to tell you about what happened to me on yesterday, and then I'm only going to talk about the John Gray, Ron Carpenter, Relentless, a.k.a. Repentless, but we got to change their name, and I'm going to tell you why. And then also Redemption. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this little piece right now so we can get you excited for what's about to come. Tonight's show, I want you, all you editors that like to take my story, I don't have no problem with that. Thank you so much for seeing that this platform always stick with the truth and with the receptacles and taking it and doing it on local news. I thank you. We are not enemies. We are all family. Every vlogger that is doing this story, and I want to do a special shout out to Layla Lynn. Layla Lynn is doing a wonderful review of the facts and the rumors and the speculations surrounding this whole story. It looks like the vloggers are about to snatch network TV news, right up out the airwaves, because everybody's coming to social media, to YouTube to get information, because we get to share. We get to share. It ain't just us talking. The lines are going to be open tonight where you guys can call in. So I need for you to hit the like button right now. I need for you to share. And those of you that love this platform, you may not know it or not, but because I discuss certain things, I have had to retain attorneys. And this happened back in September. This platform, MBNNetwork, it's a nonprofit. Anything you send over here is tax deductible first of the year. You can find MBNNetwork Corp on Facebook, donate it over there. We legit. Now, because of the work that I do, there are some people who wants to just drag me to court for any other reason other than what I'm saying up here. Okay, I gotta make sure I can't say too much. But there's so many that's taking me to court, so it don't matter. So this is what I need for you guys to do. This platform has already went through $21,000 since September to date. And in about 2 weeks, this month bill wasn't that bad. It's only about $3,700. So this is what I'm going to ask you tonight's show as you are watching. If you like this platform and you want to support this black platform, I said black platform, but I'm black, so it is. I want you to support. And it was Bernard Jordan that came up here. He made this so clear. He said, when you go to the movies and watch a show for an hour or two, you're going to pay anywhere from $15, well, on the weekday maybe $7, but $15 to $25, $22. So I want everybody that is watching me tonight, if you love this platform, I'm going to ask you this, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with the money, because it's going to be more. If you do this, it's going to be more than $3,700. But let me tell you what I want to do. I want to bless a church, and I found a church to bless. But before I get to that, let me tell you what I need. I need for every last one of you guys, everybody, to do $12. Type it in there, $12. You can do it through CashApp. You can do it through Venmo. If you are a monthly partner, that's what we do, $12. So I'm going to ask everyone. You say, okay, I don't want to do it every month, but I'm going to do it tonight, because you're going to give me an hour, hour and a half of laughs and information and facts. You can do it through Cash App. I prefer you go to the website, LarryReidLive.com, and you can do it there. Or you can do it through Venmo, same thing, MBNNetwork, and Gmail, I think it's what's it called that? GooglePay? It's LarryReidLive@gmail.com. But I want you, everybody, to do $12. So remind me, Kendall, 3 times throughout the show to remind everybody to do that. And do it after the breaks, because I'm going to tell this story in 3 parts. Let me tell you what I did on yesterday. Yesterday, for the first time since I moved here to the Atlantas, for the first time, I went to a Sunday morning service, and I chose, drum roll, believe it or not, a Kojic church. You know how many times the Kojic had done did something to have me up here talking about them. You remember last year at their convocation, they thought I was coming, so therefore, what's that girl name? They're saying, halloo, halloo. Halloo, halloo. Judith McAllister's husband that used to work for the Homeland Security or Secret Service, but he can't work there no more because I think he got a charge or something, or the FBI or something. But he is the Kojic Church security. And also, I think they're close to Kim Barrow. You know, I had done that story when she was talking about the gays and stuff. She went up there and said all that old different mean-spirited stuff. You can believe what you want to believe. We know what the Bible said concerning homosexuality, but you ain't got to say it like that. She just said it a certain kind of way, and we I didn't drag her. I just I clowned her. I clowned her. And then I also corrected what she said, because I didn't think that was right. But during the way, around the same time, then they sent out, I can't remember some other stories I did, and they basically sent this picture out to all the security. They don't, you see, but this is what people don't know. LRLs are everywhere. They're everywhere. And so one of the security people made sure they sent it to me and said, look what they told us to do. If we see you, to escort you off the property. Get out of the Church of God in Christ. And I won't even there. Won't even there. They had no plan to be there. Get me out. But it was a Kojic church. And I try to tell y'all now, you can know I ain't got nothing against no organization and nobody personally. I just do not. There was one person I had something against, somebody personally, and I told y'all here on this platform, it was Bishop Demetrius Senegal. But now we all right. Still don't agree on hardly nothing. But he ain't my enemy. We fixed all of that. We good. Other than that, I don't have nothing in my heart personally towards anybody. I love people. So anyway, I was looking on the online church thing, and I just got a feeling that there was something about this place that, I don't know, it was just a something. But when I got there, I understood. The pastors of the church, Pastor Dennis Martin and also June Pace Martin, one of the singers of the Pace sisters. Now, I knew them before I even moved here, meaning the Pace family. But it didn't come to my mind to ever go to their church, to ever try to connect with Durandis, because Durandis used to come and sing. When all my churches would get together for convocation, she would come and sing. She even preached at the main headquarters church. A lot of people don't know that I was a pastor for 20 years and had churches different places. So I knew her. I knew Lydia. Me and Latrice had correspond on IG a few times, and I met June at that same time. So I've known them for years, but it never came to my mind to go to their church. If I see some online, I was mentioned, and y'all say something about it. You remember I put the Clark sisters and the Pace sisters single on my page side by side, and as a result, the production at Radio 1 took it and actually done a Willie Moore Jr. Holy Rounds thing they do where you choose which song you like the most. And Dwyer has something negative to say about it. But I forgive her because she just probably ain't understand what my motivation was, because the platform, she probably think we just run ahead, just try to do evil towards folk. And she misread the post because I said which song you like the best and not which group. But anyway, needless to say, they ended up getting the most at it and done really well in radio without a promoter, thanks to Larry and the LRL platform, y'all. Thank you, Dwyer. And if you inbox me and tell me thank you. I almost said something to you yesterday, but let me get to that. Was she even there? Or was she on the drums like normal? Do she sing with the group now? I don't know. But anyway, when I went to the church, I put on a whole suit, and I done a video, about 25,000 you don't watch that video on the Facebook page. I went there. When I got there, it was a handful of people. The church on the outside. Let me tell you what I said for real. When I first got there to the outside, I said, now, wait a minute. It's over here in the corner, and all these leaves got this much space to park my car. And y'all know I drive a truck. I said that was an SUV. Well, sort of SUV. And I said, I can't get this to 1090. I wonder what I'm going to do. I said, you can't have before visitors here. You can have nowhere to park. So that's the first thing I saw, because I built churches up, so that's the first thing I was thinking about. I'm looking at everything that need to be fixed. I'm looking at the outside, so that need to be fixed. Where the deacons? They get all these leaves up. I said, where? I'm looking at the window sill, said that need to be fixed. I get to the door, it's an old wooden door. Now, at that moment, when I'm looking at the outside, it look old. I said, you know what? I got a feeling I really made a good choice, because y'all know I look new school, but I love storefront bucking and speaking in tongues and prophecy and dancing in the family field. I open that door. The inside of the church is on a whole nother level. I said, okay, this is nice. Nice seats. The seats are clean. Everything look really nice. I look, and I seen some cheering. Anybody know me? I love Big Jaw Baby. I said, oh, Lord have mercy. Big Jaw Baby after church. I'm going to squeeze that jaw. And I had my girls sitting by me, and a few other people came with me. And immediately, I could feel church. And it was, hey, then somebody, hey, over there, woo! And one of the mothers got happy when the pastor was talking. She said, thank you, woo! And you can feel that thing. It wasn't that new school stuff where everybody praise him at the same time, the same way, and everybody shout look the same. These folks were breaking out in praise whenever they got ready, and everybody was smiling and hugging. I said, this is all right. See, I like storefront church, like TDJ's, that big old church, but they have storefront feel or storefront kind of church. That's what I like. Where you have that storefront church and a big old nice, new age, I ain't say new age, not a good word, new modern type building, but it's old school. And June over there hollering, ah! I said, wait a minute, you was a whole alto. Why is you singing LaShawn notes? You and Duran is singing alto. Why is you, ah! Way up there. Stop! And she ran over there. How you doing? Look, she has a distinctive voice. She really could do radio. She said, how you doing, Copley? It's good to see you. I'm so glad. I looked and seen you and said, oh, look at that. I'm so glad to see you. I mean, really, let me tell you. This is so old school church. And I seen Pastor Martin come in. Pastor Martin came on. Hold on a minute. Whoever this is, obviously do not know that I'm live on LarryReidLive right now. So you're live. Who's this? Oh, Lord have mercy. It make you not want to give Bishop Jordan them $10. Because they call you, if you give them 10 cents. I was blessed by the prophecy. I gave y'all $10. Now y'all want to call me 24/7. Let me be. Let me be. Call you 4-5 numbers. You don't answer from the number they know you supposed to answer. God bless them. They got an advertisement on my show. You're going to see it in just a little bit before I get to this other part of the thing. But darn. Y'all better not give them nothing. They're going to call you Overton and Overton and Overton again. Like I'm just playing. You need to. Come on. That seed go in the ground over there. It's going to come up. But anyway, it's my mentor now. So Martin came out of there, and the man preached. I won't forget. He talking about the favor that is coming, and favor's coming to you, and it's coming in a package that don't look like it's the favor of God, but it is. Now that sounds very simple. Let me tell you this. I study, I get revelation, the deep things of God I love. Bernard Jordan, you go where he at, he gonna be in the clouds. Dr. Shamar, you go to his teachings, he gonna be in the clouds. Like Miles Monroe, he always stayed in the clouds. Well, he kept it pretty practical. There's something, John Eckhart, in the clouds. Cindy Trim, in the cloud. I like that kind of stuff. Give me the words, nuggets and stuff. Carlton Pearson, they talking, just all the different nuggets going off. I like that. But I also don't mind an evangelistic word, just encouragement like T.D. Jakes, and that's what Martin does really well. And I actually held all my quickenings, all my speaking in tongues. I held as much as possible because it's my first time visiting, so I didn't want to bust up nobody at church. And sometimes if I get in that praise real good and I'm getting the booking. Actually, this is really a leap. I get into that leap really good. It's like it just stir up all my spiritualizations. And before I know about thank you, Jesus. And then God start talking to me about me, and then start talking to me about the person next to me, and then the person next to me, and then the whole building. Next thing you know, I'm thus saith the Lord. So I didn't want to go into that. Since the first time visiting, I used to get put out of churches for that. I don't want to go through that. And my children sit beside me, they're going to be scared to death because it's been a long time we've been at church. So I ain't wanted to go through all of that. So as I sat there, they were telling me about across the street, they tearing down because they need parking. 10 of us with big cars, plus their members, ain't got nowhere to park. We got to park down the street. So they really got to clear this thing off. They don't clear it off, but there are a few thousands of dollars that they need in order to be debt-free of that. Everything else been paid off. And then I think they need more thousands of dollars to repair the look of the building. Cosmetics is everything 2019. So, this is what I want y'all to do. That $12, because everybody do it. Because how many watching right now? They 1.6 thousand on Facebook. There's 2,000, almost 2,500 on what's the name. If everybody do $12, not only can I clear next month's law bill, but I can give these people a nice donation. Because I want to help what they're doing. We've done it with Lady Brown when she got put out. She's in a place now. She's out of the house. We sent her $10,000. We raised that in 20-something hours. And I want to do it again. People always say we don't do nothing good on this platform, but they lying. They don't ever watch. They don't even know the platform. You can't watch the platform a month and then come out and talk inside of your neck. So hit that Cash App and everything. And I am going to be at Restoration Revival Church of God in Christ this Sunday. So all of you that want to fight, that want to shoot at me, just wait till I get away from my children so we can shoot it out together. Because everybody that's with me, all the adults carry. We're licensed. So if you bulletproof, come try me. Plus the pastor, the son, and everybody that they all carry guns. So let's go over. But all the rest of you that just want to come, take a picture, you're going to be blessed by this experience. I mean, the spirit is there. The move of God and the love of God, and the pastor, you can tell, love people. So I'm going to be there this Sunday. So meet me if you're in the Atlanta area. I might try to go live. No, I want to enjoy the service. Let them do the live. I'm enjoying the service. I want Harlem Buck to let me be. So, I already feel like I'm going to do something. I might plan a praise as I sit right here and find me a new dance. because my dance is ugly. I don't remember how I danced. I don't even remember. Okay, it ain't much movement. Quiet as it's kept. Don't no man have no good dance unless he. Never mind, I ain't gonna say that. Hold on for a minute. Let me drink some water. I'm about to say something I ain't got no business saying. All right. Because that's not true. Ow! Oh, Lord! All right. So that's that. $12. Y'all tell everybody to come in there. Everybody to come into church. Tell them we already done the offering appeal. Over there in the storefront church on Periscope, they 139 of y'all. Y'all do $12 as well. Everybody, all locations tonight, $12. For the lawyer fees and for a nice sizable offering for this land clearing, the parking lot, and church repairs, I'm going to do this. I believe this is a real church and a real man of God. For the first time I posted, because I posted positive stuff about pastors before and even had them on the show, but I still had to deal with all the craziness in the inbox, everybody telling me their experience. I didn't hear one thing from this man concerning this man. So I'm going to help them use this platform like I've done 1,000 times and your support to do something positive. All right? Now it's time to talk about what has hit the news. For those of you that do not know, all things John Gray, we have been the hotbed in the space where we have been trusted with the information and the insight as relates to whatever has been going on concerning John Gray since his tenure at what was Redemption. And those of you that have been following this platform for a long time, you already know this. You know that I absolutely adore John Gray. John Gray has been, and I said this at the top of another show, he's a comedian, a songwriter, an artist, a pastor. He's in the marketplace and in the four walls. Well, see, that's all me. So I've always looked at him and any male that is in those worlds, like T.D. Jakes and even Tyler Perry. I know a lot of you don't think in the four walls, but he still preaches at churches. He's a licensed ordained minister. And then also other people that's in the marketplace who do many different things at radio hosts like Steve Harvey, and even those in the music industry who are like the label heads like P. Diddy. Also like, what's that man with that cross the top of his head? I can't think his name. He be talking like this. He with Tony Braxton. I can't think of his name. CeeLo Green as well. So the rest of them I like really like. Can see myself in. And our what's his name? With the grill, with the red cross. Tony Braxton. She lost the ring. What's that boy name? What's his name? Lil Wayne, baby daddy. I'm playing. I better not say that because they be kill folk. They like to kill people. What's the man name? Y'all know the man name? Lil Wayne. He took the money from him. Birdman. That's his name. Thank you so much. But anyway, so I love this dude. And remember, a whole lot of different things were coming out. And I kept saying, maybe this one concerning William Murphy. When it came out concerning his child outside of wedlock that he was not recognizing, and then also relationship with his sons from his first marriage that he wasn't in relationship with. And I done the story, and I held back some information because I said, I think William Murphy gonna hear about this and be like, you know what, he's right. I don't like his delivery. He be clowning me a little bit, but he's right. Let me get this together. But that ain't what happened. The next Sunday, he got out there and made LarryReidLive a devil, and he made it an attack. And just because somebody's having a conversation about what you have done does not mean they are attacking you. I know it feels like one. Just say that it feels like an attack from the devil or from, I don't know. And then he eventually came back and said, look, all right, he didn't say it like this. Larry Reid is right. Let me work on this. I'm going to get this together. Give me some time. Now, we done gave him almost a whole year and he still ain't fixed nothing. He paying for his child every month, but he's not having nothing to do with the baby Christian, and the two older boys are not in a relationship with him. I'm gonna do a whole story on that because I really want to do something for them as well. I can't fix the world. We can't fix the world, but we can do our darn part. All right, so it's that. But you guys, when I began to do this story, I really was looking for John Gray to be more forthcoming. And I still kept hope from the last show. I think I said this in my last show, that I hope that he just eventually will come forth with the truth. Let me tell y'all what happened. But first, let me drink. Get close, because I'm about to tell you something. Your drawers are going to fall right off. This morning, as I was talking to my moles, M-O-L-E-S, because they're moles over there at Relentless, and they're moles over there at the Redemption, that come and tell me what I need to know. That's how come I knew the information about all this ordeal before anybody did. Because I knew about it on the 28th, but I had to wait till I get the receptacles. After I had those conversations, I said, I really want to have a conversation with John Gray and the Avenger. Not just John Gray, but the Avenger. For those of you who do not know, her name is a little funny name. It's a unique name. So I just came up with Avenger because of that. And also in many different situations, it seems as though she's the one that's been like, John, you need to do X, Y, Z, da. John do a little something different and come back on it, and he'd be like, okay, baby, you was right. Then the whole thing that happened with that female, she would like, I done told you, da. And like, yeah, you right. And then he got it around the world and basically was saying that she's like his covering and positive. So we begin to see that this woman in his life, this is baby Jake's Avenger. Just listen to the Avenger and then you be all right. That's what we say here on the show. So I was saying, after I talked to my moles, I said, I want to talk to John Gray. Now, this community is very small. So it takes a little, but a lot to get into connection with who you need to get in contact with. Ladies and gentlemen, God worked it out. I have spoken and basically done an interview with both of these. Baby Jakes and the Avenger sat down. I don't know if they were sitting. Yeah, they were sitting. Couldn't tell me where they was at. And I sure was sitting and had a conversation. I couldn't bring up any of that stuff that's going on with redemption. I couldn't ask those questions and get any information from them. I ain't need to, 'cause I already got it from the moles. Which I'm going to tell you that. Should I tell y'all that first, then get to the part that I'm concerned about? Because my concern was, I was more concerned about, I wanted him to own stuff. Guys, when I tell you what I'm about to tell you on tonight, I think tonight is probably going to end on a good note. Because you know me. I ask real questions. I tried my best to convince them to come on the show. And I hope they don't get mad with this part that I'm going to say. But we already seen it in the public anyway. John is a little bit hard-headed. Because the Avenger was like, let's share it. Let's tell it. I don't see nothing wrong with it. It is what the truth is. And John was like, I don't want to rehatch it, however, but I understand because this whole stuff that he got going on is a woe leap. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you our conversation. I'm going to do that at the end. The first thing I'm going to tell you is this. Remember when I done the first thing last week about this whole rent thing, but I said I seen the paperwork? Well, you know, there was some paperwork surrounding this whole transaction. The devil jumped in one of the people over there at Relentless and done messed around and done got me this paperwork. So after this here break, I'm going to come back and tell you what's in the black and white and who lying. Do we owe rent or not? Was he supposed to pay $26,000 or not? Who owed who? Who breached what? Now, I sent word to my other mole to try to get Hope and Ron to talk, but they said they have said that they will not talk in the public. Although Ron did make a statement yesterday after church with the cameras off, I'm going to tell you what was alleged that he said concerning that as well. All of this and more when I come back from the break. Write down if you need a prophecy, and if you want to go to a party, check this out too. I'll be right back.
Are you in need of direction for a decision you have to make? Maybe you're curious about the future. If that's you, the founders of Zoe Ministries and the Company of Prophets are offering you free prophecy. Call 888-831-0434. Don't wait. Call 888-831-0434. Do it today. In the year and begin your new year at the best gospel party of the year. Friday, December 20th at 8 p.m. and Tuesday, New Year's Eve at 10 p.m. Dr. Shema Womack L. and Lady Womack invite you to Radiant Lights, Light Up the Darkness, food, music, open mic, and dance event. For more information about this free event, call 973-748-0090. It's the party of the year at 430 Franklin Street in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Friday, December 20th at 8 p.m. and New Year's Eve at 10 p.m.
I want to talk to y'all about that party. This Thursday night, I'm actually going to have Dr. Shama on. And I have an idea. I'm going to shop to him and Bishop Jordan. I want to talk about Christianity, Christians, and as it relates to the stars, Aquariuses, Gemini, because some of us believe it's all right to talk about that. Some of us, so I want to talk about astrology. So I'm going to get Dr. Shama and Bernard on the phone Thursday. I'm going to do my best to do that this Thursday. And while I have Shama on, I'm going to find out about this party that he's doing in New Jersey on the 20th and also for the new year. And you know that he is a naturopathic doctor. So all food is going to be free, but you're going to get to taste this food that I have tasted that tastes better than the stuff we eat that we know ain't good for us, that's made out of plants. And you get to come there and eat free. Bring your family. It's going to be lots of entertainment, open mic for 2 days in December. And that's a great way to bring in the new year. That would be good to go there. But I'm going to be down here booking at Revival. What is it? Restoration, Revival, Culture. I'm booking it. I ain't been to a New Year's, because we didn't have New Year's service. I would always get a prophetic word somewhere around October when we be in the holy month, and then I'm like, what's needed to go have New Year's? So I done told y'all what God doing for the next calendar during the year. But anyway, I think I'm probably going to be there, but if I don't be there, I'm going where Shama is. I might go to Shama's because I got to be in New York 4 days later anyway. So I might do that. I don't know. Anyway, let's get to the conversation. That's going to be this Thursday night. For those of you just tuning in, I need you to hit like and share this broadcast and help us on tonight as I'm giving you all this insight that you can't get nowhere else. We are asking every viewer for $12 like a movie ticket. And I want you to do it. I've done typed in there the different ways you can do it to support this platform so we can clear out the lawyer fees for this year. And then I also want to do something for this church here in this area. So help us with that on the night. All right. For those of you just tuning in, I did speak with John Gray and Aventer. It don't even feel right calling her right. No, Aventer. That's how you say it. That don't even feel right. Baby Jake's and the Avenger. And did y'all notice that Baby Jakes is losing weight? I had to look at what he said. He's losing weight. He's still skinny at the bottom. It's just how it's going to be. And most black men is like that. Our legs is so tenacious. You can't even, you got to get the implants that make it look like the white men legs. Their legs be big. But anyway. All right. So let me go ahead and set up because I had to take notes from the paperwork and put it on my laptop so that I won't mix anything up. Now, after this, I'm going to get into the whole infidelity, what was true, what wasn't true. Or my facts out of, like the Avenger said today, she said, well, ain't nothing that you said won't true. It was just you didn't have the other part to it. And I got the other part now, and I pray that their closest friends, while I'm live, will call them and say, you can trust Larry to call in. Because you're going to hear it out of my voice, but it's going to be best to hear it straight from them so that you can feel it and feel the tears. There was crying in this conversation. That thing was, I got blessed this morning. And that John Gray preached on this phone today. I'm going to tell y'all what it said, but first let me do this the money stuff. Okay, now, bring them over to Ron and Hope Carpenter, the founders of Redemption. Okay, now, so this is where we pick up this story. Boy, their teeth is right. Do you see that? I need to find out what doctor they went to because the TV show that just ain't, you just don't come out your mama womb with that. The doctor played and then made some stuff right. Okay. All right. So I read a letter. I'm not going to read it now for the sake of time. It was the letter from the lawyer before everybody else got it. At least give me that credit there. You can take the story and I put my name on it, but let's just at least see what truth is. I got trusted with the information first, and I shared it out to you guys, and it was an eviction letter. What I kept saying in the live, I kept saying, they've been evicted, but I also explained that, they were to move out on the 31st. So with me saying that they were evicted, I was not saying it was a court order. And some of you guys got that mixed up. And it's because you couldn't find it at the courthouse in Greenville. In fact, when I first heard the rumor in November, that's the first thing I did was call, my connections and like, okay, now that's not true because that's not there. So what are they talking about? And I had to wait for the lawyer letter to manifest because this whole going back and forth between the Carpenters and the Grays began to take place a couple of months ago. And you're going to understand that better. It was last year, May of 2018, that Baby Jakes and the Avenger, of course, they were working at Joe Osteen's church Wednesday nights. I think was when he done Wednesday nights. I think he's still doing them off and on. He was asked to come, and that is on the OWN Network clip. I think I played that. No, I put it on the page. You can go and see the conversation between him and Ron. Ron said to him, first of all, Joe Osteen, that conversation's up there too. This poor man was crying. His teeth is good too. Who be fixing these white folk teeth? I don't want teeth like y'all so I can chew my chicken better. Okay. So this blue-eyed, nice teeth, young man, stiff hair, that have don't move for nothing. Ain't nothing moving that hair out of place. But I think he's a nice young man. Do y'all know this man daddy can preach? Ha! I think his name John Osteen. See, I don't understand. It's like when folk get more money and more modern, they lose their fire. Now, he say some good stuff and make you feel good. This is my Bible, and I belong to Jesus, and he loves me just like I am. It's negative and all. But this man, daddy, he was like a white evangelist, them kind of be acting black. and, speaking in tongues and powerful. That's where he come from. That's what's coursing through his blood. But you can see him on the OWN TV network thing crying because John was telling him he got to go where the other white man is at. Anyway, and that's Ron Carpenter. You ladies, black ladies in my inbox, Ron Carpenter. First of all, let me ask y'all this. Every video, the man can teach. Every video I went back and watched of him, he coughing. Let me say this. He got to go to the doctor and find out what is wrong. You remember I coughed for like 2 months, and I still can't if I don't spray my nose. He got to get the if somebody know Hope and Ron, tell them I said this. He got to start sleeping with the thing to make your air wet. He got to do that. And he needs to get the azelastine, that's what it's called, Nancy, and Flonase. Flonase is the antihistamine. Azelazine, I think it is the steroid. Blow that up in your nose and do the azela thing 2 times a day, and it stop your sinuses from draining. You have a post-nasal drip that is making you cough and it's getting up under my skin. I can't hear nothing you saying, God saying, like I said, that is irritating. Stop! Stop! And God said, stop! Get you the nasal spray. Dry all of that up in your head so you got a drip that's making you cough. Get that fixed. Cause you good now. This white man is good. Listen. John Gray is still get on his way to this level of teaching. This man can teach. I'm just saying what it is. Okay, so what they done, they gave, in my mind, and I had been said before I knew the information that I got today, that he received the golden key. He gave it to John in May of 2018. Right after that after all of this stuff came out concerning John Gray. He bought her a $200,000 car. I said it, and I said it today on the phone when I was talking to them. I said, the moment I send you buy a $200,000 Lamborghini, I said, now hold on for a minute. Nigga, what you done did? There ain't no way in the world that you gonna buy 8 years of marriage. Ain't no puss nowhere that good. Not for a whole $200,000. There ain't no way in the world. I said, there ain't no way in the world that you done sat there and bought a whole $200,000. That is a mortgage. A whole $200,000 car. What she got in there for that to go down like that? But I even got the backdrop for that today. So anyway, you always it was always good to get the other part of the story. And it's just their story. Without receipts, it's just a story. But at least you can get their narrative to add it into the conversation. So I'm so glad I was able to get this. Now I just need Ron Carpenter and them moles to convince them that they need to talk to me as well. Because y'all see, if you talk to me and I talk about it here, it's going to go to all the outlets. Just go ahead and do it like that. And on social media is where your members at. They might not all be watching that TV, but they show online and they're going to watch this stream. Everybody, there's 7.8 billion people in the world, and over 6 billion people have cell phones. So this is where you talk to the world at. They're on that cell phone with them apps, with the YouTube app and Facebook app, and they're going to see, what, my pastor? And they're going to listen to everything I say, and you have to disprove it. But anyway, this is what I found out. When John moved from, and this is coming from the moles. All the information I'm saying is alleged, and it's coming from the moles. I wasn't able to get any of the information I'm about to tell you now straight out of the mouth of the Grays. I didn't feel like at that opportunity, I want to take that opportunity to talk about that. I wanted to talk about actually what I wanted to know. I was selfish at the moment, and I need to know. So here we go. So this is what I found out. Make sure all of you that's going to do this story, and Fox and all y'all in the local store, listen to what I say and say just what I said, because I'm saying alleged, but this is the truth. And the paperwork that I have could easily leak out. But anyway, so what happened was when It was a conversation, just like I suspected. Ron said, God, XYZ. John was like, I feel this is God. I'm going to do it. Ron did not give John a debt-free ministry. I want everybody to type that so that we can just be clear that right now. Ron did not give John a debt-free ministry because that was sort of the consensus. That there was a few little bills that needed to be paid, but he was given such a great opportunity. His life work been handed over to John. He's going to, it ain't San Diego. San Bernardino, yeah. Yeah, that's where redemption is at now. And he just get, this great, wonderful start. Well, that's not the case. John was handed $14 million of debt. I want you to sit on that. Breath, okay. I want you to feel how $14 million, and see, I was a pastor for 20 years. So when he said that John, and this is what my mole, I said he, Lord, but they're going to narrow down the mole. But when my mole told me that John took on $14 million of debt, and this is alleged because I haven't heard anything from the carpenter's mole. They wouldn't respond back when I told them that I had got this information. I texted them all the information about to tell y'all. They didn't say nothing back. So I don't know if that means that John is telling me the truth, or is it this is so hard to do. I don't know if the mole is telling me what the truth. I don't know. Well, I did see the paperwork, so well, I can say this because if this guy proved this in court, if I get subpoenaed, the $14 million of debt and the other bills and accounts payables and stuff, I'm gonna say alleged, but let me say alleged with a $14 million. $14 million. That's a whole lot of debt. $14 million, 5 houses. And then the obligation to pay $26,000 every month into a $6 million retirement fund. John said yes to that. We're just going to follow God. Lord have mercy. If that wasn't the dumbest thing, Jesus Christ. Lord, if John see this, he might have, but y'all know my show. I call folk names. I love it, but I'm going to call you names. That was dumb. There ain't no way in the world that I'm going to leave blue-eyed, stiff-hair, pretty teeth, Joy Osteen, and come to the Carolinas. I'm from the Carolinas. Take over a white man's work and accept his debt as a gift. God would have to tell me. Well, he did say God told him, didn't he? Okay, well. All right, that's that. $14 million worth of debt. And not only that, then John moved. Now, I wasn't able, I'm just telling you what the mole said, so I'm not able to confirm this, that John moved 16 families with him to South Carolina. So Larry Reid don't see nothing but debt. That's debt, that money, debt. None of this I would have done. And these folk went to living in hotels or with other saints. And he made sure that all these folks, actually I seen that in the live he did, but he deleted it. some months ago. And we didn't know whether that was the truth or not. He was crying and then knew he was lying about other stuff. Anybody want to believe nothing he was saying. But my moles say this is the truth. And then eventually they got them a house. $1.6 million house. Which I still stand by what I said. Buying the $200,000 car, then getting a $1.6 million house, then asking for $200,000 for the roof. Now somebody alleging that you have not paid your rent. None of this looks good. And I really want everybody that is watching me, that you are a pastor, you're a public figure, and in the church, get your wife the car that you want to buy her, but we ain't got to know. Not the whole publications. The people at that little party that y'all had, you should have told them put your cell phones away. You got to think about how stuff look on the outside. The $1.6 million house that you got, and you're building a ministry, and then you're taking on $14 million debt, but we didn't know that till now. You just got to think how stuff look on the outside. And when we got it wrong as the public eye, come out here and tell us. Yeah, that's that. What I got to say about that. So, y'all got that? That ain't all. Tell your neighbor there's some more. So, in addition to the 16 families moved to Greenville, that's debt and Monty's, $14 million in debt that he got handed along with this key, these 5 houses, $6 million retirement fund that he had to pay into, wasn't supposed to hand it to them, but put it into a retirement fund, $26,000 every single month, that payment. While all this negotiation is going on, allegedly, a denomination that Ron and Hope were connected to, that obviously they got money from to build that church, they stepped in around March. Now, mind you, he handed them the keys in May. They stepped in March and said, you can't hand this building off to Baby Jakes. You owe us $4 million. And until you clear out $4 million, if you don't clear it out before May, we're going public and we're stopping this. Okay, take a breath. Take a breath. Because we're getting all the information now. The other side of the information away. Okay. Are you listening, Nancy?
Yeah, while you're at it, Julie Swan,
Who?
Julie Swan, she's a troll coming against the platform.
Where?
Julie Swan.
Who that?
Some retarded looking lady. Talking a
Oh,
whole lot of ish.
okay, there's somebody in the chat. Kendall, let me tell you this for one time. While I'm telling the story, don't stop me no more to block a troll, because you really make the troll have way more power than what they need to have. Folk ain't paying that troll no mind. And then after the show is over, I go in there and I get rid of all the people that's going to come in there and talk in all kinds of ways. So don't do that no more. Can you please give me that, please? So I want you to look over there. I think there's a shut right there over there. And back over there, there's a up. Take both of them, put them together, and shut up. Shut up. No, I can't see her. I got to go all the way in the back and get her. I'm not doing that. I don't see her. What's her name? Julie. No, she ain't just come in. If I would have seen her, she just come in. No, I don't see her. And so can you do me this favor? Don't shut up. Okay? Just shut up. I'm not about worried about no Julie. Y'all just don't pay Julie no mind. Don't give her no strength and no energy. All right? Don't get that to her. All right, let me go ahead with my story, my little story here, because I got to do what I got to do. All right. All right, got it. Now, what I say, $14 million in debt, 5 houses, $26,000 every month paid into a $6 million retirement plan. A third party came in, a denomination, don't know what the denomination was. I would say Assemblies of God. I'll just guess. That's a guesstimation. I don't know if it was. But he had to clear that debt first in order for him to hand it off to John May the 14th. Now, I heard, I was not there, that Ron said after church yesterday when the live stream was down, that he does not think that the South Carolina location is going to make it. This is alleged. I don't know if it's true. And that he's not coming back to South Carolina permanently, but he will be coming to South Carolina to build it up in the transition and finding somebody else to be the campus pastor there. And of course, he's going to have to go in and out to make sure it's built up. But it said things look really bad and he don't know if it's going to work out. Now, I said this months ago when I found out that this $26,000 payment was not being made by Relentless and Pastor John. I said that you needed to go ahead and call Google because somebody I know that work over there that knows somebody said that Google, which is supposed to be across the street or across the way from you guys, they want to buy the property. So if you're in that much debt, liquidate everything, go get you something else, and so you can start all over in without any debt. That's just what I think. Let Google have it. Okay, well, anyway. So then let me go ahead on. There's a property that is on Redemption, I'm talking about in South Carolina, which is Relentless. $4 million is a loan that's connected to that. So I'm trying to get you a picture of what this mole is saying that isn't been told in the news that needs to be told in the news. There was structured in this loan a $500,000, that's $500,000, a $500,000 balloon payment that was supposed to be paid on one of those properties in October of this year. Well, in a quick exchange, from what I was told, but I can't verify, a conversation was had between the Carpenters and the Grays, and it was sort of like, do y'all want to keep this $500,000 that y'all have to pay, or do you want to change it? And they said that John said, because they said John has told a lot of the staff around there that I really didn't know what I was getting into, and I don't know nothing about business, and I'm really ain't that business savvy. I'm more so of a talent and a front man. And so he told the Carpenters, yeah, just keep it like it was. But it's a $500,000 payment. Long story short, the loan company, the bank, called the Carpenters. And the Carpenters was like, what you calling us for? We done handed the keys over to John Gray. So what in the world are you calling us for? You need to call John Gray. And John Gray was like, the whole switch over ain't really happened. And a lot of these properties are still not in my name. So I'm limited at what I can do. I can't go and get no loan for this church that just started from a bank that's going to trust me with all this money. I don't have the 20-something years of history with these people like y'all do. I can't refinance this loan. I cannot do this. So allegedly, Ron Carpenter negotiated with the bank, and versus paying that $500,000 balloon payment, the payments became $42,000 a month overnight. So in addition to all of what I said, now this has happened on one of the properties. And I tried to find out what the payment was before, and it seems as though from judging it between 2-3 stories coming out of that church, it's somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000 that they were paying every month, but it jumped to $42,000. So then I asked, well, is that what is being alleged? Because we saw the DM between Hope and whoever it was that they put out in the newspaper. I said, is that what they're saying is 3 and 4 months behind? They said, no, it isn't that. Said, we struggle with paying it. Oh, am I getting too detailed? Because now you're going to know there got to be a staff member. Said we, I certainly ain't gonna say no names. We struggled to pay it the first couple months, but then we started paying it. The $42,000 a month. I said, oh, okay. Well, cool. So what are they talking about that you did not pay? Because this eviction letter is saying that you didn't pay. It was a month-to-month lease. It was an oral contract, and this was like a eviction letter for you to get out by a certain time of day. They said the only thing I can think it is, said because there are some bills with accounts payable, for those of you that break it down in regular terms. It's almost like just imagine an expense account for a business that take care of the monthly running costs and maybe a few purchase orders and payroll comes out of and things of that nature. That account got behind, and therefore some things that, or some, let's suppose you got a vendor over here that needs to be paid. You're supposed to pay in 30 days, but you end up paying in 90 or in 120. Those things, there's some of those things that are behind, but there is no lease that is behind. There is no lease payment. This is the reason why you get a letter from the carpenter saying you have not made your payment. And you got other bills that are behind, according to Hope's DM and according to the lease thing. Although the lease, the eviction letter was very vague and didn't really mention no money, but I'm guessing that's because a lot of this was word of mouth, and there's so many moving pieces. So we'll just generalize, get up out the church so we can take it back and get stuff fixed up. We can go in there and get that money. But the payment, this is my assumption, the retirement payment has not been paid not once for 18 months. And allegedly there are text messages that confirm, that show John texting staff members saying, don't pay the carpenters. And it's also being alleged that from my mole on the carpenter side, it's saying that John has created a stressful work environment, and as a result, at least one of them are going to file a lawsuit, and some of the rest of them are actually going to employment agencies around there, and they're going to report John for creating a hostile work environment. Now, you got to understand that he came in and took over church, so redemption is still very present, especially in the leadership of Relentless, because the same CFO that they had for years is the CFO at Relentless. I want to say to you, John, you need to check the CFO, because let's suppose the carpenters are less than honest. The CFO is going to stick with his pastors and give you the short end of the stick. That's just my point of view. I think John was too trusting as relates to the business practices. I also think that the carpenters, they didn't judge John and where he was as far as business is concerned. They didn't judge it right. I think they took a lot of stuff for granted. They figured he wanted to jump in and get it done, because whenever he came there, the people responded and giving. They responded to him a whole lot. We heard that in his confession on network. I think they just thought that it was just going to work itself out. And when he got in there, he didn't really know what to do when it came to the business thing. He just the front man. And then plus he started having to deal with everything that was going on in his marriage. I think he dropped the ball. I think there's bills that have not been paid, but they said it's not the lease. I'm inclined to believe, especially now, being that I talked to them today about this other stuff, that they were so raw on. And I'm going to tell y'all about that right after this. I'm inclined to believe that they're not lying, that they have paid whatever payments is connected to a building or to a lease. I believe that they are saying he hasn't paid money or he's behind in bills because there are accounts payables that are behind, and because that $26,000 payment is the main payment that has not been paid. That's what I think. So in the media and in the news, we've seen these two, and I read both letters from the lawyer the letter from his lawyer and the letter from their lawyer, and they're saying polar opposite things. I think because this transaction was done on the word of mouth and the word of the Lord and the prophetic and what God was saying, and was not handled like something was going to go wrong. And I get that. And I'm not saying that y'all dumber for that. I'm 41 years old. I stopped working for somebody when I was a teenager. I've always worked for myself, and I have bumped my head around and starting businesses, and hundreds of thousands of dollars have been got by the best, made mistakes with properties, commercial property, residential properties. This is one of these instances, I think, John. I really think this is a learning curve for you. And John, this is what I think you should do. I think if they don't call you, I think you should call them and try to mend the relationship as much as mendable. Because John said something in Baby Jake's, that is. He said something yesterday at church that was very interesting. He said, I'm not going to allow this situation to make me throw mud on the carpenters. I'm not going to use this situation and let the whole world look and see these two people fighting. I'm not going to be involved in that. So that says to me that his heart towards them it's not personal, it's business. I think from watching their videos, I don't know these people, I don't think it's personal for them towards John. I think it's business. And the business on both ends was not handled like men. It was too darn spiritual. Word of mouth, what? Yeah, that's the paperwork and all that, but that wasn't even fully executed. That should have never happened. Y'all should have waited. Why were y'all in such a rush to get over there to San Bernardino? Where it is? Over there to California. Well, y'all should have waited another year. Took a year of. You see what they done over that Clay Edmonds thing? You got Reginald Sharp and Charles Jenkins taking a whole year to change the guards. I don't think you guys handled this right at all. And this is a lesson for everybody to learn. The business side of things was not handled properly. And as a result, now it's in social media. Now, both of you guys have clearly lawyered up. And you're probably going to end up battling it out. And let me tell you from somebody, that's why we're doing $12 tonight. You didn't remind me to answer. If you're watching this right now and you've been entertained and informed, just like you at the movies, a $12 ticket. Right now, what I want you to do is to make sure that you hit that Cash App. You go to LarryReidLive.com and you click donate. $12, everybody. And if you rich, and $12 ain't a lot of money, just do $12,000. Bye. And we're going to be taking the money for lawyer fees and also to bless this church, Restoration Revival, Church of God in Christ, that I visited on Sunday. All right, now get back to this here. So I don't think you guys handled this properly. And it's okay to say that. We didn't handle this right. Let's work this out. If it's workable, John, I'm going to tell you the truth. Take your church, Relentless, the people that are assigned to you and want to go with you, and go get you a building. And I will go now. This won't be nothing I plan. This will not be anything that I will try to, work myself into doing, because you want to separate yourself from this situation. And from what I see, you ain't really signed that much. This is they're left with responsibility, which is bad, because you want it to go to him and be smooth, and you over there working in California, but this is not working. Hope and Ron and Hope Carpenter. This ain't working. Get y'all tail on back over here in South Carolina and do whatever they do. Let these folk go do hickey. Do whatever got to be done. So John never really received the keys to this church. It is a situation to where like he's working a job for Ron Carpenter. I was also told, now the mold could be getting messy here, I don't know, that there's equipment that Relentless is paying, they're paying for or paid for or making payments on, that is in the Redemption Church in California. And that John just found this out and did not know. Let me take some water in now. This here, nigament. I don't care white folk involved. Nigament. Nigament. What the whole hell in the heaven y'all doing? What? And it's a great thing that there ain't no peen and no puss involved in this part. And if I've been playing with my bread basket, this just business. But I tell you the truth, if this here is down. There's too much money flowing between y'all two people and too grown to have handled this like this. This just don't make no sense to me. So let the lawyers work that out. Now let me tell you what happened after I got all the information from the moles. I went to the chiropractor. You know, I was processing it over. And I was saying, God, I wish that the Grays will speak. They need to talk to me, not the other folk. They went V103 when all that stuff happened with John. You know the voicemails I played, and they went over there to the real, and it was fake, in my opinion. It was just fake as it could be. I'm like, that was that interview that came on at about 11 o'clock here in Atlanta. By 4, I was up playing them voicemails because I felt like it wasn't real enough. And when something real happened, you gotta be real to clean it up, especially at this level. So I got home. I'm like, look, I'm gonna try this. I got hold of a number of somebody that I knew that they really trusted, and I was able to connect with them. And I explained to them, I said, man, I really, really want to talk to them. I said, I need for you to find a way to really convince them that I'm not their enemy, that I just want answers. The people want answers. You can call us nosy and say it ain't our business or whatever, but the point is it happened in publications. Now it's in publications. While we're doing kitchen table talk, we want to at least know what the facts are. So were you frucking or not? There was an R in that. We don't cuss up here. We do fake cuss words. Was you or was it not frucking? And if you was, well, just tell him. Tell the Avenger, because you know she'll know anyway. And if you did it, just make that face you made in that picture and say, David did it. Oh, kiddo, that was perfect. Oh, God, you was in the spirit on that one. Oh, Lord. But don't ever, whoever get that picture, his PR, get that picture offline. That's not a flattering picture. This is a good picture of the Grays. Don't y'all do that no more. Take that picture and put it up. I love Jesus. Hallelujah. Oh, Redemption is in San Jose, California. What I've been saying? What I've been saying? Okay, now here's the organization. God is a good God. Put the both of them up. The organization that came to Ron Carpenter were like, nigga, give us our $4 million before you give John them golden keys. The name of the organization allegedly is International Pentecostal Holiness Church. Oklahoma City is where the headquarters is. All right? Y'all got that? All right. I see y'all in the comments calling the Carpenters racist and everything. Well, we don't have no proof of that. I know about the comment she made about, because y'all started bringing up all her stuff, her having an affair 10 years ago. But the thing about that is, Hope was very forthcoming. There were no lies. She came off the payroll, allegedly, for about 18 months. And she was not active in the church. She sat down. What in the whole hell in the heaven you expect to be done? I mean, what's she supposed to do? Just give her blood? She repent. She confessed. He stood up, restored her, was very open about what happened. That's that. I do understand how my people are when it comes to white people saying something that is insensitive or racist. And we have every right. I want you to hear me, all my white friends. Don't you ever come calling us with that bullshit like we ain't supposed to have a chip on our shoulder. You won't bought, you won't sold, neither were your people. You might be poor and working beside us right now, but that's not how it happened. All of that's in our blood. When they said we was property and that your people could buy us, so don't do that. That's disrespectful. You have to be sensitive. So there's certain things you cannot say, like the owner of the Word Network, Kevin Adele, said to one of his black, his house nigga that was raising all the money, George Bloomer, skinty version, not a big version, said to him, I'm your boss. You like one of my hoes, and then doodle blackface. Inappropriate, not gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen. Just should not happen. Vicky Yowie said Jesus now is coming back to the White House now that Obama's out. Well, if you just look at it from face value, it looks like, and we're gonna get sensitive and go off like that. But I actually thought, and I understood that she's pretty much conservative white Christian. So I don't think all of them are racist. I'm not the kind of person that lump a whole group of people together. I would stereotype them, but I do understand that everybody ain't the exact same. And plus, y'all know Vicky like black peen. And she need to give Black Peen another try, because that one she had with that other man, from what the other women that I interviewed said, that thing is short and pink. My God. And that ain't how it's supposed to be. Ow! And plus I've dealt with her. That girl, she know the difference between a black person and a white person and treat everybody with respect. She just, in her mind, with Obama was too liberal with the gays and with the abortion and all that kind of stuff. So that's what she meant, God coming back to the White House. Because she, in the same breath, will say Trump is XYZ. So I get that. There's people just hard up on their faith. What Hope said, from what I can recall, what she said was about taking the knee, being disrespectful. Now, NFL football is an American sport. In many ways, it can be looked at as a new slave trade. But like the prison thing is, but she ain't thinking about that because she white. That's the main thing when it comes to white folk making comments is ignorance. And like y'all forget, y'all got white faces and blue eyes. It's like y'all forget, what happened to us in this country. And I think she spoke same way that Vicky spoke, although her was a faith statement. But has she thought it through and realized you a white person saying this about a black man leaving? Don't tweet that. Don't say that. But it's really up to other white people and their black friends to make them understand. You white, you can't say it. You call us sensitive, whatever. No. And she told me, if you don't want to take the knee, let's go back to your country. You can't say that, Hope. No. And what you mean by that? We didn't ask to come here. Y'all niggas dragged us here, made us slaves and property and your property. But see, if she thought about it, and that's why her husband had to get up and apologize and say all this stuff. But see, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't know if you're automatically racist because you are insensitive or you use a slur. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't know. I need to have a conversation and really understand. Because there's certain thing that makes you racist. And now I do believe that you can be racist and you're not even aware that you are being racist. You are as you are, and I'm gonna have to really inspect and see for myself. But you can be very racist in what you say and what you do and really not know it, especially if you're a white person. Yeah. Okay, but that ain't the conversation we having. All right, so let me go ahead and hear that. I wonder how that works. I'm from the Carolinas. This is a white man church taken over by a black man church. White folk don't like to be pastored by black people. Now, all my white friends told me that. Even my old white members when I was pastoring. For those who didn't know, I did it for 20 years in this country and in abroad. They told me. I said, no, ain't too many white folk gonna sit up on a black man. But let me tell you, niggas will pack out a white man's church. And easy. And the thing, and I'm not gonna say anything's wrong with that. But what I am going to say, I mean, in the world of gifting and spirit, it depends on what area you're in. Sitting up under a white man in South Carolina, I get. Let me tell you why. Because in South Carolina, there are not a lot of teachers. It's a lot of apostolic churches, Pentecostal churches, folks screaming, holler, ain't got no sense. I'm understanding what truth is. I mean, y'all take it however you want to take it. It ain't much. There ain't too many strong black teaching prophetic apostolic pastors there. And so I get that, in certain regions. This is my opinion, you guys. I'm just talking. I'm just thinking out loud. All right, let's get to the stuff. All right, now. So, when I got with John, I called the person. I said, convinced them to talk to me. Next thing I know, I was on the phone with Baby Jakes and the Avenger. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this story, but this is the thing. I really wish that they would call in. God calls coming out of their mouth with all of the emotions and hear them answer direct questions. It means a lot. And so I'm going to do my best with what I remember. Let me tell you how the conversation started. Because the first part of the conversation, it was only me and John in the third person. The other part of the conversation when the Avenger got on. This is what he said to me. His exact words were, I am grateful to God for you. So I sat up. I was like, now what he about to say? This thing gonna be turned all kind of ways. He about to go off and we're gonna be fussing and cussing up here on this phone. Because I will cuss if I got to. If I must. I don't like to because I'm scared it's going to mess up I'm scared one day I'm going to open up my spirit to pray in the spirit and I ain't going to have no more tongue. I'm like, what happened? And God be like, because you cussing using that same tongue. You cussing. Well, God, I'm just using profanity. I'm not cursing. I'm trying not to curse nobody. But just in case it ain't all right, I try not to do it too much. I be praying them backdoor prayers. You know them prayers you be like, Father God, give me this job or give me this house, give me this car. Jesus, help me, Lord. But then I go back and like, wait a minute now. If I'm asking for this and it really ain't what I supposed to have, because the Bible talking about you pray and ask for your own lust and you ask amiss. I want to get into that thing where you give me all these blessings and I get out there and I done forgot my spirit. So tear that whole prayer up. It ain't right. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Them backdoor prayers. It's just how I believe. All right. Now, the first thing he said, wait. Okay, let me finish this first. Okay. He said, I'm grateful to God for you. And I wrote this down. God is word for word. What you did when you cover these stories, you shook me. He said, God used you to shake me up and to say to me, serve God, live holy, and do what's right. When he said it, I almost threw everything in my hand. I said, you said what? Yes, that's right. That's what it said. He said, pride had risen up in me. And he basically began to repeat what he said in the pulpit on Sunday. He said, I was like a wild horse, and I needed to be tamed. I risen up in pride, and I needed to embrace discipline. I needed to embrace a strong prayer life, and I was running wild. He said, and it was like, it just, now when I'm saying this, he wasn't saying that he won't live him right or won't trying to live right. He just was not being what he know he's supposed to be. And he said it was a shakeup. And he also said this, and I wish they would call in and say in their own words. He said, I was not honest and as forthcoming as I should have been to my wife, to my family, and to my church. He said, I did say to my church, forgive me and things of that nature. You know, so I could have been more honest. And let me tell you what was so funny, because her butting in when he's talking is just how it is. She busted in. She said, no, you were lying. She said, this nigga was lying. I was screaming. Because she said, no. I was like, this nigga is lying. So why in the world? And she said, no, it wasn't right. She said, and I was mad. And she began to explain how by the skin of her teeth, they stayed together. Because what happened had actually happened. This is what they explained in the car too. Because I was saying, and she said, I would have thought the same thing, that he's trying to buy a car to make everything right. She said, but the reality is this was something that we were just playing with, didn't really know we would get. We were building the car about a year before. Said this didn't even have anything to do with that. Said we wasn't expecting this. Then they called us and said, we do this and do that, we can get it. Said we didn't even know that. So that didn't have anything to do with it. And then I started popping questions because everything got light. And she told me, she said at first when I heard, my nickname was the Avenger, she said I had a problem with it. She said I was so hurt. She said all of it was just so horrible. She said it was terrible. She said being in the spotlight and everybody's talking about you was the hardest thing. She said it was terribly hard. She said and I know it was hard on Johnson, but it was really hard on me. She said, so when I heard anything that you had put out, you called me the Avenger. She said, at first I was so hurt. She said, but then when I thought about, and I'm pretty sure somebody may have told her this, what an Avenger is. She said, and then I love the Marvel movie. She was like, yeah, I am the Avenger. So I was able to tell her straight to her how she got that name, which I named her that during the whole when he went to the White House thing. Because remember, she told him not to go and that it may turn into a photo op that she shouldn't have went and that he shouldn't go. So that's when she really got that term from me. I said, listen to your darn wife. And when we was on the phone today, I was really trying to get him to come on. And she was like, well, let's just tell the whole story. That's fine. That's good. He was like, no, I don't want to rehatch it. And I understand, because right now with all this other stuff going on with the Carpenters, he don't even have the heart and the spirit enough to handle that conversation possibly. And she mentioned that. And she said that. And she said, while we're talking, I'm rubbing in his chest. And he began to cry. He began to tell me again, thank you for during the story, he said, of course, I was mad. Yeah, I was upset in the beginning of it, but as time went along, it's like God used it to really shake me up and get me focused on what it is that I need to do. He said he also was thinking about how there's so many other pastors that have actually done worse things. He said he did not have sex with that woman at the Stellar Awards. He said no married man should have had any business of being in no hotel room with another woman you married. And the bench was like, that's right. You're exactly right. He said, you were right when you said that. Larry, you were right when you said that. He said, God used all of that to get me. He said, I was just not in the space that I need to be as far as what I know God had called me to do. He said, when you get away with it one time. Oh, this is another thing I asked the Avenger. I said, Avenger, you said on Sister Circle you didn't know who it was. Then you got on V103 and said you did know who it was. Now, which one is it? She said, oh, I'm so glad that you asked that because it gave me an opportunity to explain. He said, when I was saying what I was saying at that point, and she said, first of all, he hadn't told me everything. He said, when her been in the hotel and all of that, he said, none of that I knew. He said he wasn't as honest as he needed to be. He said, I'm going to say this. It's all coming in my mind. Let me finish the statement, though. So she said that she knew about the person and the situation as far as giving money, because he would ask, I'm going to send this person from school. Well, now we know. I ain't never said her name because I told her I wouldn't say her name. And that's the only reason why I ain't say her name. But they said her name today, so we talking about the same person. And he cleared that with his wife. He was like, yeah, if she needed help, however, da-da-da. And she's done the same thing from her past friends as well, and even her ex. They've helped these people come to God. And we heard from that girl say that he helped a guy with suicide thoughts and things of that nature. So she said it was later on that I realized that I knew the situation. She said by the time I got to V103, I knew who we were talking about. So that's why it looked like she said one thing here, and then, because I was calling her, I said she lied. Which one is it? So she explained that. What was the other thing I was about to say? Yeah, my mind was racing and it got me caught up in that. So hold on, make sure, because I wrote some stuff down. Oh Lord, hallelujah. Oh, let me correct something that I said. I said that Hope said, go back to your country, but that's not what she said. She said, if you didn't like America, find a country to live in that you love. Yeah. And she was talking particularly to Kaepernick. Said it was disrespectful for him taking the knee. So I was going to clear that up. Also, God, there was something I wrote down in my notes. I don't want to forget anything that was said, because for me, that really cleared things up. Oh, in the live, I said that Todd Gabbard, who is from the Carolinas, who I know, and let me tell y'all something about Todd Gabbard. Let me go ahead and say this. And he ain't told me to say this. In fact, I ain't even texted. I don't know if he got the same number he had back then. And Todd Gabbard would tell you guys this, because he knew me in the days of going around pastoring and prophesying. I told Todd Gabbard, I said, the whole world need to hear you. I said, this city is too little for you. You are one of the best voices when it comes to ushering somebody in the presence of God. I hope he ain't lost that. Because you can get into a whole lot of stuff. You can lose your mess. Still sound the same, but you don't feel the same. So I just want to say how great of a singer and talent that he is. But I said that his pay got cut. And that's not true. His pay did not get cut. So I was glad I was able to get that information. And also the girl been in the same hotel as John. Oh, let me tell you this. Okay. So allegedly, it wasn't like a plan for the girl to be in the hotel with John. What happened was that she asked where he was. He was like, I'm at, da-da-da with my wife, da-da-da, and she's like, oh, okay. The girl went and got her own room in the hotel. Now, that may not mean a whole lot to you guys, but I'd like to know what the truth is. So it won't like he put his hoe in the hotel. She came there. She was sort of like overstepping her boundaries, because mind you, not just John that had helped her, but she knew that the wife was okay with him helping her as well. And I think they bought her a car, bought a little car for her to get around for her and her daughter. Yeah, that. All right, see what else I wrote down to myself. Yeah. I took that moment and I asked every question that I wanted to ask, from the personal, the women stuff. And I asked those questions, and they answered those questions. I'm telling you, it was a great opportunity to hear him say what he said. This is what I think. What I've always said. I'm glad that it was proven right, that John Gray has a good heart. John Gray, I think he needs some maturing for the position that he is in. Jake said that he was going to be matured while he's pastoring. I said I do not agree with that, because it's almost like that he gets to mess up over these people's lives. I still stand by that. But I will say, I think that he is maturing as he's dealing with this stuff. I do think that. I don't think it's the best way. I don't. Because in the midst of all of this stuff going on, there's casualties. And the whole world is watching now, this information age. So it's not just he's growing and maturing. Because I would say pastor mature me, but it ain't happened before the whole world. But I want to know what you guys think. I'm putting this number up. You don't have but a few minutes to call in. You call in, and I want to hear what you got to say. Tell me your name, where you're calling from, and give your comment immediately. Don't wait for me to, to engage and to talk back to you or anything like that. Just jump right on in and say whatever it is that you want to say. Okay? So that's what we're going to do at this time. And stick around, because you don't know who may call in. And a lot of times the commentary that comes from you guys is really, 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 really interesting. Also, I want you guys that just came in, $12 before you leave. I really need for you guys to participate in this tonight, because I want to be able to do two major things, which is clearing out what has to be done for the lawyers for this month, and then I also want to be a blessing to this church, and hopefully they'll be able to make some repairs and whatever needs to be done. But I'm gonna be going there. I'm gonna be there this Sunday, so I'll be able to hopefully have some input. I ain't gonna go in there and try to take on nobody's church, but I mean, I want to know where this money going to, what we're gonna do to make things better around here, because they have a church that I think is a blessing to the community that decides to come in there. So you can do that now. $12 is what we are doing. LarryReidLive.com. Click donate. You can do Discover, Visa, American Express from the website. And remember, whatever you do, MBNNetwork, it is a compliant organization and it's tax deductible. All right, put the number back up there. 646-787-8174. That is 646-787-8174. Y'all are lighting up this phone line. All right, so give me your name, your city you're calling from, and then I want you to tell me, make your comment, okay? All right, let's go. Caller ending in 67. Oh, shoot. Caller ending in 9761. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Sherry Ann Turpin from Washington, D.C. I have quick comments. Number one, lie down with dogs, get up with fleas. In other words, I think the Carpenters are con artists, and I think the Grays got sucked into it. Number two, I think the Grays need marital counseling. And last but not least, I think John Gray needs to have either some kind of counseling, individual counseling for his self-esteem and how to manage a ministry, or he needs a mentor or an elder to step in. That's my comment.
I fully and 100% agree. Now, I thought about that after I hung up off the phone. Thank you for calling in. I thought about that when I hung up the phone with them. I was thinking, I said, he really needs, because he's talented, he's gifted, we already know. I do think that preaching need to come up some. I mean, but that doesn't naturally happen. That grows. He said he didn't have a consistent prayer life. He needed to embrace distance. So all of that's connected to the level from which he preached and what he says. So that's that. I think what he needs for his person, he needs a mentor. And I'm going to say this. I want somebody to get this back to him. Bernard Jordan, when it comes, he coached millionaires, celebrities, not even too many preachers, because they don't want to pay the money to do it. But just keep, and he keep it secret. Some folk I know because I know, but I can't say who they are. And he will be really good for just for you. I mean, just for yourself would be excellent. And that's just one. You ain't got to be the only one. That's for one aspect. But then you may want to have a connection with a church mother that's an intercessor, just for your prayer component, so you can develop your own prayer component. Because what he's carrying is unique to him, and it has to be matured, and it has to develop. And I'm not trying to talk down to him. I'm just going from my observation. Because remember, I do have a master's in counseling, so I can look at things in a therapeutic light. So that's what I think. So I'm gonna have to agree with you. All right, next caller. Caller ending in 6742. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Larry, it's me, Felicia Lockhart. I had to leave my post because this was just driving me bats. My thumbs could not type fast enough.
Okay, let's go.
Listen, here it is in a nutshell. I really honestly am so happy that you had the opportunity to talk to him. But, Larry, you see things with a pure heart. You don't see things in that kind of cloud that this man wanders around in. Larry, I know you were talking to him on the phone today, but I'm going to tell you, I truly and honestly believe that he was acting out with the greatest sense of deception that any narcissistic man who's ever broken a covenant and cheated on his wife could have been operating under. This man is manipulative. I believe that John Gray, in conjunction with being manipulative, he has learned how to access different portals of witchcraft to convey lies to a person where a person with a pure heart would believe it. Because I'm telling you right now, this cat is rocking with a great shell game from New York right now. I don't believe any of it. I believe that he spoke to you at the appropriate time, but if he had any truth and validity to what he was honestly saying, give us the paperwork and show us some true receipts. Show it all to us right now. Come on the air right now and talk. I ain't buying it. My ladle does not have John Gray, Smollett, Kool-Aid in it. I love you. I gotta go. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Felicia Lockhart, for calling in and being a great moderator. I think she's one of my moderators. I think she's Nancy on YouTube. I think she is. I know she's a paid. Now, see, over here in LRL land, we don't all agree. We don't all agree. She could be right. I don't know. Because I'm going to tell you something what I do know about me. Sometimes I can be a little bit gullible. And unless God say, this person lying or this person manipulation, I don't even catch it. But then when I catch it, it's your worst nightmare if that thing come up in my spiritualizations. But I naturally approach every conversation, and whatever you tell me, I'm going to believe what you say. That's just how it is. And to me, what I felt on the phone call, it felt authentic. The emotions were authentic. Now, I do know that authentic emotions does not necessarily mean something is true or not. But I believe what he said concerning his personal life and these women and these girls. I believe that. When it comes to what the mole told me about this money aspect, there is paperwork I just can't show you. But if it happened to leak out like it did last time, then I will drop it in Patreon for everybody to review. But you have to be in Patreon. And while I'm talking about Patreon, you will probably like to make sure that you text to stay in contact with me or either get in Patreon. The perk of being in Patreon, I talk about stuff I don't bring to the platform. Like I'm doing a whole story over there. I mentioned on the platform today, but we're going through the receipts, through the video and things over there. But I can't bring it to the public platform. And it also keeps you in contact with me if one of my pages gets shut down or something. They're always fucking with me for one reason or the other. Okay, so, and then you also text LarryReidLive to 33222 so you get notified wherever I'm be live at. Because I can go live in my app that is about to be finished, or I can go live on my site. But right now we're on social media because that's where everybody at. All right. Next caller. Caller ending in 0523. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Dwayne calling from Jacksonville.
All right, let's go.
So this is my comment. Every dog barks when they get hit, right? So regardless of how they fix it up, regardless of how they try to make it look, has been exposed to the public, the truth. My last comment is I'm questioning the time out of all of this situation wants to talk to you now after everything told. Does he understand damage state? That's my comment.
Thank you so much for calling. Your phone started cutting up in between there, but I think I heard you. Somebody said, I think you were saying that why he wanted to talk now. Remember what I said when I set this up, that I had to do some work to get this to happen. So it wasn't a matter of him reaching out to me at all. I've been wanting to talk to John Gray and his wife, but this time I just had the opportunity to do so. And this is the reason why I wanted them to be on the show and on the phone call, because when you hear it out, you can't make everybody happy. People are going to feel how they feel. But when you hear it from your voice, it's as many things. It really says, first of all, you're not scared. It also says you ain't got nothing to hide. You're being transparent. There are for real celebrities that call into vloggers all the time and TMZ and Breakfast Club to clear rumors. And church people just don't know or have sense enough to do that. Nene called in a guy who at the time didn't have like 30,000 or 20,000 subscribers, Armand Wiggins. But his show is popping and people listen to it, that are big wigs, although he don't have the big, he didn't at the time have the big audience. I think now he's 63,000 subscribers. And she cleared a rumor. So I want these preachers and these pastors to know, y'all better quit listening to the dummies that got something to hide. If you ain't got nothing to hide and you holy and your hands is clean, but you just may messed up here and there, have the conversation. The people want to hear from you guys, and they know I'm going to ask the questions. And although they know that I am an optimist and I'm not pessimistic. They can judge from this. They know I'm going to ask the real questions. All right, let's go take some more callers. Caller NNN 2854. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller 28.
Hello?
All right. Caller 2854.
90 seconds.
Y'all been hearing it? Call in. You only got 90 seconds to call in. Caller NNN 2854. What's your name? Where you calling from? Are you here? She hung up. Oh. Caller ended in 2295.
Hello?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Tatiana, and I'm calling from Oakland, California.
All right. What's your comment or question?
So
60 seconds.
I can't say that I agree with all the stuff that he's done. Anybody with common sense would not agree with it. But I just have to say, from watching him, he has absolutely changed my life with his preaching, and I think that we all messed up, and I know that I'm messed up, so maybe that's why I can kind of see the brokenness in him. He has a lot to work on and mature as a pastor, but he is absolutely changing people's lives, so I just have to say that.
That is great. I'm so glad you called in because they will hear this, and that will be encouraging to him. Thank you.
All right.
Caller ending in 2446. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller 2446. If you hear my voice, it's your
10
time.
seconds.
I'm sorry, that's me. How are you, Larry?
I'm doing good.
Good. First of all, can you give Tatiana my number? She sounds like she's kind of fine. That's number one. Number two, I think John Gray is the most annoying pastor I know, but I think people are making him out to be a demon when I don't know if he necessarily is. I think that he's a little bit immature to be that big of a church, but I don't think he's a bad person that people are trying to make him out to be. And people got to remember that pastors are not perfect, and they just doing what they can. And so everybody's not out to get you. And some people are just making mistakes that they're trying to do right.
Right.
All right, I'm finished.
Thank you so much for calling in. And I happen to agree with him. And I said this, I did not think that this guy had this heart. And if you've been following me for a long time, you know how important this was to me for one of these preachers that we talked about to own it. And I understand you say why now, why, but I'm glad that he was able to own that. As it relates to what the moles have told me concerning this contract, we went over it for those of you that are just coming in, because I see some of you asking what was discussed. Were they rent payments that were behind? According to the Grays mole, no. There are no rent or building payments that are behind. They were late one time for 2 months, then they picked up the payments. But accounts payables, there are some that are maybe 3 to 4 months that are behind, but they continue to pay them. This is alleged information. And then also the $26,000 payment that was in the agreement for them to make into the retirement, that has not been paid. Now, according to the mole, they said no, they haven't been paid, and that John told them not to pay that. And so I don't know when or how we're going to find out what the reason for the Grays and Relentless not paying that. I don't know when we're going to find that out, or if we ever will find that out. I think it's a question that we need an answer to. Why not? You agreed to it, so why isn't it done? Is it because you're taking the money to pay that new payment that went from $18,000 to $42,000? What? So I would like to know that too. All right, next caller. Caller ending in 4418. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
This is Rosalind Wright, Ramsey, Minnesota.
All right, go ahead and hit us with your question
Hello?
or your statement.
Larry, I wanted to say I agree with the caller earlier that John Gray is a narcissist. However, when I listened to your YouTube from the other day, the spirit really just came over me. And I began to forgive John Gray, and I was led to start, forgiving him. And Black people need to understand how to forgive and then rally around their Black leaders. John Gray, although he has cheated on his wife, and there are some areas that he needs to mature. What about the body of Christ coming together, praying for this man of God, praying for the family, praying for the body of Christ, and lifting him up, lifting this leader up, because he does have a good heart. In my time of despair, this was the only leader, the only pastor that I could listen to. I couldn't listen to T.D. Jakes. I couldn't listen to Juanita Bynum, because he has a true heart for Christ, and because he is a man of God. When I heard the word coming from his mouth, it penetrated the brokenness that I was dealing with at that time. So what we need to do as members of the body of Christ is, forgive, and then learn to lift up. We are so quick. Look how quick you're willing to forgive the carpenters. Larry, have you really taken the time to research the carpenters and all the mayhem, foolishness, and whatnot that they went through for the past 20 years that they had the church? Come on, body of Christ.
Thank you so much for calling. I hear you.
Thank you.
One thing I want everybody to be clear on this platform at times when we do not agree is that I have to tell both sides. That's why the first time I broke the story, I read the Carpenter's letter. The next night I read the Grays and Relentless letter. Tonight I was able to talk to both of I'm saying moles, but really they're connections and people that trust me not to reveal their identity. From both sides to give you more information that you can only get here concerning this paperwork and the logistics and why there's so polar opposites in what their lawyers are saying in these letters. In addition to that, tonight I provided you one-on-one conversation that I've had with the Grays and that information. Now, if I would get a conversation with the Carpenters and be able to talk about, what have you, then I will bring that here as well. But in my opinion, from what I see, I said what I said. I don't think this was handled professionally and in a business way at all. On both sides, I think there was a lot of spiritual presumption that overshadowed regular business transaction. Because had I been John, I wouldn't have accepted it. Because there were too many things from what I see that were not ironed out and clear. But I do understand that the Carpenters also operated in that same kind of lack of consideration, because they should have, do he own a house? Have he ever built a church? Has he ever handled a multi-million-dollar property? I would have asked them questions. I think this all just was not handled right, because how you expect, just call the people give money and they respond to him when he come preach at your church, that don't mean that this man can handle all of that. Clearly he couldn't. And from what I saw on Sunday and what the person that works in that church told me, that he consistently says, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. And he totally trusts the CFO that they left behind. That's mucked up, like we say in the country. Mucked up. Here we say frucked up. But that's all kind of crazy. Let's take a few more phone calls. Caller ending in 7011. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, my name is Mike. I'm from Hampton, Virginia. I had a question for you. Do you feel like John Gray has been a victim in his life? I mean, I look at these pastors, and usually they're like prodigies from very, very young. You know what I'm saying? They pluck them up and they take them, they travel them all over the country, and they never really get to be normal kids. And so they get to be old and then older, and then their personalities and the things that they do are not indicative of a mature adult. And so, which brings us to this situation. Do you feel like that plays a part in what he's going through?
I certainly can't rule it out. By the stuff I've heard him say, he about the dad leaving him on the in the yard and not coming to get him or something of that nature. I don't have that all together in my head, but there's definitely been some kind of trauma that has not been properly worked through that shows up, between the ages of 39 and 52, and black males. And a lot of times they go through those years and they don't even work through it, because during that time you're going to need coaching, you're going to need therapy, you're going to need to really spend some money and go to some intense workshops with some professionals to work through some things on purpose. And so I can't say that, I can't rule it out. I think it's playing a part. I do think so. Thanks so much for calling in.
Okay. Okay.
Caller ending in. Okay, caller ending in 2713.
Hey, how you doing? My name is LeVar. I'm calling from ATL. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Question. So if John Gray decides to start his own church and just walk away from the whole situation, how much would he owe to the Carpenters? Anybody know that?
Well, see, that I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because what I have don't have any signatures on it. So I don't know if it was halfway executed or fully executed or not. But if I was him, that's exactly what I would do. Quick. I would say, look, this is what we're going to do. It's our last service this Sunday, and move.
$4 million for the $4 million for that one building, then you got the $4 million for the other organization that gave the money.
I think he paid that.
Regular note
I
for
think
the main building. Does anybody know that?
Yeah, there is a note still. I think that I think the main building is paid off, but the gym is owing $4 million. I'm not sure. The gym is, and I ain't had time to go through stuff. I had to get the paperwork to verify the conversation that we had, and I just scanned through it.
Okay.
I think that's
my last statement. I just think it's just best for him to just start all over and get a clean slate. Because if he had true members that really loved his ministry, they would support him wherever he would probably go at. And then that way, he ain't got to deal with the headache. Because it sounds like that $26,000 retirement plan he didn't even know about until I guess they started. And then for him to inherit a CEO from the other organization, church-wise, whatever, that was a bad deal too. So he didn't have nobody on his side of the fence to make sure that things, I guess, the proper transition went a certain way. So he should just start from scratch, in my opinion.
I hear you. Thank you so much for calling in. We're going to take a few more callers, but there's still 4,600 of you guys still on. I pray that tonight you will help me do what I want to do. Go right now, $12 donation. If you went to a movie right now, it'd be over $12. You go right now. The Cash App is $MBNNetwork. And then you can also do Venmo at MBNNetwork. You can also go to LarryReidLive.com, click donate. You can do it using your Discover, your American Express, or anything. Trust me, I've done it before with Lady Brown. And I verified and show you the cashier's check and everything that I'm trustworthy. What I want to do, not just clear the lawyer thing this month, but I also want to be able to do a good offering this coming up Sunday when I go back to that church to help them go forward, pay off what they're doing across the street. They're just a handful of people, some good people, and a great energy there. If you don't tithe, if you don't give, this is your time to use this platform and do that. I want to go in there with a hunk of money. And that will be really, really, really exciting. Oh, God. And I will go live so you guys can see it, too. I want to be able to do something. But I'm going to need you guys to really go far beyond what we've normally done. Clear out this debt for December, and then also Bless these people. All right, let's take a few more calls. And thank you, you guys. That I'm looking at the super chat on YouTube. You guys have been just doing it over there. Now 30%, everything that goes there, 30% YouTube takes that, and they only pay it out once a month. This is something I want to do this Sunday. Thank you for that, but help us do what I want to do this here Sunday. Thank you. I see it coming in. You're saying that some people you labeling it legal fees, so thank you for doing that. All right, let's take some more callers. Caller in and 2077. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, my name is Angela Butner, calling from Mississippi.
Hey, Mississippi.
And, I just want. Oh yes, in the building. Listen, I listen to you all the time, me and my husband, and I just want to say this and get off. John Gray, I want to say to him, it takes a big man to stand up and say, hey, I was wrong. And I want to give him some words of encouragement, too. It's okay to listen to your wife. We're not hating on you. I'm a wife myself. But anyway, T.D. Jakes did a sermon on November 24th, and it was like a call to repentance for that young man. And I would encourage you to go and listen to it. It's called Don't Follow the Herd. And then it said, get the facts, get the truth, show mercy, remember, we were once in trouble. So let's not forget that, just because we are watching his life play out in this magnitude, let's not forget, if the Lord allowed us, the curtain to be pulled up on us, we would be embarrassed and ashamed of some of the things that we do. And I just want to say with that Ron Carpenter thing, I truly believe he did that in what we call in the business world good faith. And this good faith business deal has gone wrong. And I'm going to hang up. And again, thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you so very much. In fact, the mole did say from both sides were operating in good faith. So glad you brought this up. I forgot to bring it out. Both sides were operating in good faith, because here John is raising all this money, paying these bills in good faith that all of this is going to be handed to me. So let me go ahead and work on paying this debt. And then he trusted John to make sure that he paid the debt and that he will handle everything. So there's a lot of good faith on both sides. I still say that it's that churchcraft. And what I mean by churchcraft is when we over spiritualize stuff in the church. That should just, let me tell you what I learned. Because I had churches overseas. We had to move families overseas to come work in the school that I had started and in church and things of that nature. When it came to business, there was a person that worked with me. I'm not going to say they're not spiritual, because they are. But they have this side when it comes to business. They are a complete soul. And they just so worldly and carnal. And I learned that when it comes to handling vision and business surrounding vision, you don't want them kind of folk. You got the prophets and the seers and the intercessors, for certain stuff. But when it comes to business, you need the folk that still cuss, drink, and fruck a little bit. Get them folk that got the degrees, that's working for the big firms. They don't come to church all the time. In fact, your board don't even need to be a part of the church. Because that's your core managerial, supervisory, people. You don't need no spiritual folk on that. Because they just handle the business a certain kind of way. And they ain't going to be the pastor's yes men. Because a lot of times, yes men are guess men. They guess you right. And just let you do whatever you want to do. That ain't how you protect no business and have no strong business. Get you a board, a odd number board, not like 12-6. Get like 5 folk and 11 folk, where the vote can be split and stuff get hung up. You can't do. A lot of times you end up handling stuff better like that, and I think churchcraft got the best of this whole ordeal. And it was over spiritualized, this church business. All right, take a few more. Caller ending in 9930. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Lynn. Hi, Larry. I'm calling from Trenton, New Jersey.
Hey there.
I want to say that, first of all, man appoints, God anoints. They got man seed, they planted man seeds, and they got man deeds. I feel that Pastor John Gray and his wife, they got in touch with you because you have a big platform, and all the things that has been said was coming from you, and everyone is listening. So they came to you because that's where the listening ear is. So if they want to clear anything, going over the mic on their own church and all like that is not where it's happening, because they spewed so much badness towards you, but now they're humble to you. But they spewed so much bad, and that didn't get anyone to turn to against what you were saying. So they know you have that listening ear right now. And that's why they're reaching out to you, because what they want to say to be heard, they could have said it at their church, but they're saying it to you because you have that listening ear right now, because no one else believing in anything that they're saying. So they feel like if it comes from you, then it can be believable, because no one has been believing them at all. That's my take on it.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in. I just want to say that it was me that sought them out, and it was me that always wanted to seek them out. I just had to get someone that was close enough to them that they trusted to know that they could trust me. I wanted them to come on the platform. Now I am going to say this. When it comes to getting a whole lot of people online, I think they're able to get quite a few people online to listen to anything that they have to say. But the thing is about this platform, it's just not thousands of people watching, which is always good. The people that watch my show are, number one, celebrities. Secondly, they are professionals. Of course, you may not believe that or know that. And then there are people that work in Hollywood that are the decision makers in huge corporations, and they listen to me because they know the way that I go about doing what I do, and everything that I do checks out. So I just don't run my mouth. I'm talking with some substance behind it. So it would be very wise of them to use this platform to speak to their peers, to their haters, and the people who are hoping that they win, and to garner a new audience even. Because a lot of people have learned who John Gray is by me talking about him. Because I don't know if y'all know this or not, that most people are not in the church world, and they're not going to church, and that there's more people online than there are in our churches. So I just want to make sure that we're clear on that. I think that they have their own audience, but audiences are different. So this is a big platform, but they have a big platform, but I think any and every audience, wherever they are, it's important to talk to over and over and over and over and over again to expose and re-expose your brand, whatever it may be, and for whatever reason it may be. All right, I'm going to take a few more calls. Whew. Caller ending in 3136. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Larry. I'm calling from Michigan. My name is Walter.
Hey there.
Hey, Larry, man. One of the things that I believe should have happened, especially with John Gray, is like right now with everything that is happening, he needs to step down, have someone else pastor the church for maybe 6 months to a year. Let them move out from where they're at to get all that stuff and be open with the people. See, one of the things that when this whole thing broke open with him, he's still living out his life, because if you understand his story, he's always talked about how, he was a virgin until he got married. So there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't understand about ministry, and when you get involved in ministry, you're human. So there's a lot of the human side, and the Godward side, and we have to live it out. We live out our lives just like everybody else. And you, of anybody, Larry, you should know this because you pastored for 20 years. So he needs counsel. He needs to be able to sit down, get strong counseling to get him and his head right so that he can lead his people back to where he needs to be. He's an anointed man. That anointing is not going to go away, but the mistakes that he's making, and I heard you said something that I hope a lot of people understand. He is maturing. He is going to mature. He should learn from his mistakes. But I personally believe he needs to sit down. And when he got involved in that business dealings, he should have had someone who knew how to deal on the business end, because from what I'm seeing and understanding, I think Ron took a little advantage of him because he didn't know. So it's like his hands are tied. And that's a dealing that, he's going to have to get somebody who understands. And if, like you said, if that CFO was from the other pastor, he's going to have to get his own CFO, clear up a lot of that stuff. They need to get out of that building and start Relentless over. But that's the steps he needs to take.
Thank you so much for calling. I heard what you said. This is something that I had said earlier, and I'm done. I'm so sorry I got to say goodbye to the rest of you callers. Take your comments to the comment section, please. All of you that are on the line, take it to the comment section. All of you that are watching still, hit like and share before you leave. Thank you so much for tuning in. Share this link with everybody. Before you leave, please consider doing $12 on tonight to just clear us for the month as relates to these lawyer fees, and also help us give a nice offering to this church that I think is in need on this week as a culture church. And so you can do that by going to LarryReidLive.com and clicking donate. That's Visa, MasterCard, American Express, whatever you want to do there. Or while I'm saying all this and you keeping Cash App, Cash App go down sometimes too. Or you can do, where my other phone? Because maybe I already clogged up already. Or you can go to the Larry Reid Live website and you click donate, and you can text to give as well. Just text the word give to 404-800-4530, and if you do that, it'll start talking to you. You can text give into how much you want to, and then it'll open up. You put your information there. You can also use any card with that as well. I want to thank you so much for viewing, sharing, and liking and watching this show on this platform. Thursday, we're going to be back here on Thursday. I'm going to try not to come tomorrow, but there's some stuff that done broke off on the page right before I went live, so I might have to come back another time. I'm going to try not to do 2 or 3 times this week, but I'm definitely going to be back on Thursday, which I may have to open that show with all the stuff that's happened on today. And, of course, on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, like we do on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Yes, believe it or not. Somebody said, oh, you crazy. I'm not going to pray with you. You crazy. You better have fake custom. Okay, but then this is not for you. But there are hundreds of us that get on the line, and we do pray together, and it's real for real prayer. I mean, for real prayer. You can call in the playback number right now, and you can hear the last prayer session. One of the things that I've done for several years, even that I pastored for 20 years, I would teach people how to pray, particularly intercession and prophetic prayer. And that's something that I still do. Even when I coach people, because I do coach people, that's something I still have to teach people. It's like people don't have prayer, like in their prayer component weak. And I don't understand how you can do anything prayerless. You can have a strong prayer life. I'm done. I said Sunday and Wednesday. Sunday at 8 a.m. Wednesday is 8 p.m. I said that. Let me be. All right, I'll see y'all later. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. I wanna be.